Hello, welcome to the SmartPip pre-European market review. My name is Christian Stevens, also known as FX Chris. Today is Tuesday, April 17th, 2012. This is a review of some of what we did today in the live London session class at smartpip.com. Let me first remind you that the purpose of this video is education. This is not to offer trading advice, although we will plan in great detail for several setups daily together in class. Please be mindful that trading under leverage is always risky business. Occasionally, as a novice trader, using excessive leverage may work for you, but more times than not, it will work against you. So please do not trade real money until you have a proven track record of success on a broker's free demonstration account. And even then, also remember that past performance never predicts future results. So don't trade money you can't afford to lose. One more thing before we get started, whether you're watching this video on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or our blog at FX Street or SmartPip.com, I'd like to ask if you leave any sort of a comment once you're done watching, even if it's just to say hi, thanks, whatever. We'd love to hear from you. Well, yesterday was kind of tough for London, but turned out to do our plans panned out by the time New York finished its stuff. But here we found ourselves today in a place where we had already been heading up. Just trying to get my pen working here, and it's kind of distracting me. Sorry. That we'd already headed back up off the support on the U.S. This is the U.S. dollar index here, and this is our entire day heading back up. Actually got two different feeds. One of them has a wick here and one doesn't, but either way, it came off of support. And we opened today sitting right about, actually I think this is one candle too far, actually. I want to say about right there. We opened today about right here on the USD. This is an hourly chart. Okay, and if you look at a 4-hour chart here, that's roughly about where a fib is. Notice your Stokes cycle in the 4-hour is still down, not complete. The daily had begun down, not complete. The hourly had finished the full cycle, and at the top of that cycle, it is still well within a fib zone here. Okay, so it's that, the way I treat stochastic cycles, if we're completely done a cycle and we are not at the next highs, to me, that's very bearish. That next cycle is probably going to roll over, okay? And this is an hourly chart. So needless to say, just based on this little analysis here, at the beginning of the day, I was looking for an opportunity to short. CAD news just came out. To short the index down to at least sort of 79.5 or so, something like that, which means just by being bearish at that particular moment on the dollar, that I would also be bullish on the currencies against it. So there, things like pound dollar, euro dollar, Aussie dollar. So with that in mind, one of our plans today, okay, was the euro dollar. All right, and this is where we were sitting roughly when we opened today in class. Now we had already, had a nice rise yesterday up to near 3160. We spent all of London in here, but New York really got things going all the way up through London close. So we found ourselves basically in the middle here. You could have shorted Asia for a scalp, but just looking at the fib study the other way, you can see this fib is coming down, okay? So this one that you're seeing here is coming down, and this is like a 618786 zone. But the one to the right on the 1-hour chart is the fib going the other way, and should have been slid over there. This is what we were looking at coming into class today. All right. So we had already retested this channel top yesterday in Asia, and Asia had fallen off of it like you would expect it to. And the idea of watching for some sort of role reversal right sort of in this fib zone where you've seen to have some money flow issues here before, right around 3080 to 3090. You see how you've had instances of money flow here quite a few times, okay, and that puts you right in your sweet spot of the 3.2 and the 6.18. So the idea was essentially to get long here at the same time that the dollar index was going to get short, and pretty much the same sort of trade at the same time on pound dollar, Aussie dollar, and the yens were very similar as well. I'm not going to go over every trade plan, but there were plans today to long certain yen pairs and several dollar pairs. But this one in particular, MT4 is resetting like crazy while I'm making this video, is we basically had to wait. We saw that there was a little level of support right here at 3110, but we essentially had to just ignore that and wait for it to make that final drop. It finally did, and guess where we're sitting? Right at our alarm, right at the 3.2, right at the London Open. Now, let me also point out to you, there's more to it than that, okay? Not only is it a fib, This is your daily. This is your daily pivot point, daily central pivot point here that you're coming off of right at the open. All right, so you've got the 3-2 fib, you've got the role reversing zone, and this here, if I can get it up here, this here is your weekly central pivot point. So here you are at a weekly central pivot point, right? A daily central pivot point, a 382 of the previous move yesterday. The index is correlating and telling you on Stochs cycles that it's probably going to roll over today, and we're at a previous roll reversal zone. And like I said, time of day, London Open. So what do you think is going to happen when you're at support at London Open? What do you really expect to happen? Now I will give you full disclosure. I was a little cautious. I was not cautious on the setup or the plan. This is what I was cautious about. I use 2-hour charts a lot, and at the time, this was trying to roll over beautifully on all the dollar pairs. So because of that, normally I'd just take this entry with a 50 pip stop and not look twice. In this particular case, I had several things that were telling me, even though everything under the sun is telling me to long here, I need to see a little something, you know? And that's all I did, is I literally went to a short-term chart. I'm not kidding. A very, very short-term chart. Let me see if I can get to it here. Well, you know what? I'll just use this one. And right at that time at the open, let's use this one here. Okay, now I'm in the Eastern, I'm in South Florida, so Eastern time zone, New York time. Okay, so what you see here, this is your London Open right here, 3 o'clock. This is 8 o'clock London, 3 in the morning. All right. So what do you have happening right at 3 a.m.? You have another higher low, and remember, we're at that massive area of support. These are those pivot points and the fibs and everything we just went over. And even after the money flow comes in, a couple minutes in, it still can't even print a silly little lower low. So at that point, as soon as I saw green, yeah, I just pulled the trigger right there. Stop under here. Did that. Actually, I did this on euro dollar, pound dollar, Aussie dollar, pound yen, and euro yen. So I actually did a 5-pair. I was a little in over my head, if I'm honest, but you know, I had conviction in what was going on. And if you want to know what the higher lows look like at the same time on like pound dollar, for instance, just to give you a quick little view here, at the same time, London Open, same deal, support. Here's your 3 a.m. hour, the open, and you start to see green at the open, again, off support. It's a no-brainer at that point. A no-brainer. Now, the nice thing is we had a very good reason to believe, looking at the charts, that the index was going to come down a bit, and that the euro was going to make it at least up to this 31 sort of 60 zone, this next roll reversing area of resistance. All right, that was the immediate sort of target. So that was the initial plan, that we would get long to about right there, and then we would see what gives in New York, and the end result is pretty clear. Perfect fib. Obviously, we've come back half that distance. Here we are right now, 25 minutes before the New York stock market open. That's why I want to get this video done. But a 75 pip move nonetheless for just the euro. And let me tell you something. If you took a couple of these pairs like I did, you had a pretty stellar day. And what I'm trying to get at here is you're not really going to get that much better of a right entry setup, right level support at the right time than what we had today at the London Open. It used to be like this a lot more often, but London's been kind of tricky as of late. So that was a beautiful entry, and as you can see, I just backed out. We were retesting this roll reversing area, which is also the previous channel bottom here. So this is going to probably become a choppy area. We might revisit the highs today, but when you take a look at the daily chart on this, okay, this is back at the 382, 50% of the entire zone. You're at a 21 EMA. This area is not going to go easily, all right? And I'm actually still a bear on this pair long term, so this is just basically waiting for the next opportunity to short this big time, all right? Now, I did take the short up in 3170 zone, but I honestly expect that to get stopped out break even. Like I said, I think New York's going to buy this back up to that level. We'll have to see, but this was just one of the trade plans we did today at smartpip.com. If you'd like to learn how to do these sorts of trade plans on a regular basis, we'd love to have you in class. There's also full recasts if you can't make the time of pre-European class that has a full recording of everyday sessions. So as a member, you're able to view these and go over them as much as you'd like to learn from them. I'd like to see you guys there. Have a great time. Cheers.